Welcome back to the channel. I got a good one for you today. A couple of months ago, a teacher was asked a question and had a fantastic answer, and we're gonna watch that video. And it doesn't end there. Boom. All right, we're just gonna jump into it. All right. So the question was about J.K. Rowling. So when a student asks about J.K. Rowling, this happens.
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? And, like, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So the kid obviously asks a insanely loaded question. Do you like her despite her bigoted opinions? Like, I already know what's gonna happen, so I'm kind of pause ending, but I just wanted to point that out, like, very clearly, like, not like, oh, what do you think about the what's being said? No. Do you like do you still like her work despite her horrible opinions? Huh? But again, right, the teacher handles it perfectly.
So let's get specific, though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're...
From this alone, I can tell this is an amazing teacher, alright? None of my teachers ever said this. My parents, thankfully, said this. So I'm not like... I didn't fall... I don't consider falling myself into into the sheep category, so to speak, right? Because if you're just parroting talking points, if you're just uncritically engaging with anything at all, you're a sheep. You're terrible at life. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how else to say it, right? I was taught to, thankfully, again, by my parents, to question everything, right? Think for yourself and make up your own mind. And these days, I don't know when, I really don't know when this changed. If it ever changed. Like, was it always this way? Has it always been like the vast majority of people just don't think critically about anything at all and just like go through life with their brains turned off? Up until I was like 16 or 18, I don't have really a frame of reference, right? Because you view the world in a much different way. Not that I'm old as hell, right? I view the world in a way different way, but I'm still, because I started questioning everything before I was 18, right? I grew up to be this way, thankfully. Again, like the biggest gift my parents ever gave me, the biggest gift my dad ever gave me, R.I.P. Dad, is the fact that he taught me, you question everything, alright? You look at the evidence, you look at the facts, and then you decide for yourself, and you don't be like, oh, Bob said X, therefore X must be true. That's a terrible way of living your life. Right. So thankfully, I thankfully escaped that. Oh, I want to call it a death sentence, right? But like a intellectual death sentence. Like, it's the biggest gift my parents ever gave me. But yeah, I just think it's like weird, this seeming shift that happened from then to now, where everyone is just like, no, you're actually thinking about stuff? That's unacceptable. Like, I don't understand that at all.
You're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you...
This guy is amazing, dude. Why do we not have more teachers like this?
You say bigoted opinions.
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
You've heard, so what, can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things.
I think you could see a few things. Did you actually go and actually see those things and really read what she says? Because I think you didn't. I think you're just talking something you've heard from someone that you may respect or think you respect, and you're just parroting that stuff, but you didn't actually look into it.
If you want, I could try and find
Yeah, see if you
something.
can find. See if you can find one.
So, one of these tweets that she came out with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about?
It was deemed transphobic. I'm
It was deemed transphobic. Yeah, but do you think it's transphobic? There's a difference. See, these are all these things. Like, this guy is he's also dancing around this world really carefully, I feel like. And still, you can immediately tell, like, whoa, bro. You sure? You gotta probably think for yourself a little bit here, alright? Because here's the next sentence.
myself.
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
And there it is, right? Cheap, okay? Don't go with what a lot of other people say. Go with what you deem to be true. Deem what you judge the situation as. What some Bob, some Dave, some Judy, some Jane says about it, you shouldn't give two craps. You should look at the situation yourself, think about this in a critical manner, and then be like, I don't like this, or I don't know what the fucking point, what the problem is. You know what I mean? Like, you could just, every word he says shows that no, he didn't, he has no idea. He doesn't necessarily, it's probably clear that he doesn't agree. Like, oh, I don't have an opinion on it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. There's a reason you say you don't have an opinion on it, because it's not popular, it's not cool to have the correct opinion on this, which is think for yourself, right? No, you gotta parrot what Dave said 2 hours ago.
So let's pause it. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic?
Okay, this guy's an amazing teacher. I'm just gonna like, what the hell? Oh, I would have clearly. I'm much more aggressive in my talking. This guy is doing the perfect thing. He's making the student think about what's being said, form his own opinion, and then move on from there. Like, the exact teacher you want in your schools.
Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there is a difference between men and female, and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by
I agree.
attacking someone for stating that sex.
That is exactly what she's saying as well. And 99% of people that read that tweet will know what that means. Which is why they never actually point out real tweets that J.K. Rowling made. It's always like, she's transphobic. She said something on her Twitter. What specifically? You never hear that. Because when you verbatim see what she tweeted, then you're like, this is what you're angry about? What? Right? Because it's the most normal. It's the most normal takes, right? Like, oh, live your life how you want. Just don't shit on people that don't agree with you, essentially. And then everyone else is like, oh, she's a transphobe. So it's like they immediately prove their point. Like, oh my god, bros. You're not supposed to immediately give the game away. And somehow, it still works somehow, right? Because a lot of people, they just like, they don't think critically. They just like, oh, she said what? Oh, she's a transphobe. But what did she say? Oh, you're not gonna tell me? Oh, okay. I'll still believe she's a transphobe, even though no proof was given, no evidence was given. You can lie to a lot of people, and they will have no clue, man, clearly, because they don't need evidence. They'll just believe you. It's crazy. And I don't mean that like in a in a like direct sense. You know what I mean? Like I mean that on a more public scale. Like just lie to the people, don't lie to a person, lie to the people and they'll believe you, dude. It really is like Goebbels said back in the day, dude. If you repeat a lie strong and long enough, it becomes the truth. Because people don't know any better. People are sheep. It's actually crazy that I hate that that's true. Like I really do hate that that's true.
Sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So
Yeah. So now this kid is transphobic because he literally said the exact same thing as J.K. Rowling, except with different words. So he's transphobic now too. Sorry, right? You're a transphobe, kid. That's how it goes, right?
is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
Ridiculous.
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with, but I can see why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something, because
Sure.
there's an apology tweet.
What did let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so.
You see anything problematic there?
Nope.
She's apologizing, so...
That's not an apology. That's an explanation.
No, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying. She's basically saying,
Yeah.
like, I have nothing, to me, this is what I interpret it as, I have nothing against someone being trans.
Exactly.
It's your life.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not an apology. She didn't say anything wrong in the first tweet. There's nothing to apologize for. It's an expansion on the first tweet. Like, oh, seemingly some of you misinterpreted my words. And they did on purpose, right? Because these people are perpetual victims and they need something to rail against. So she expanded on the first tweet and paraphrased it. She said the exact same thing in a different way. And the guy's like, oh, she apologized. No. No.
But you just don't get to impose on my... You can live how you want, I can live how I want.
Yeah,
And let's all,
exactly.
So I guess now that we're looking at it like, oh, there's not much difference between me or her. Do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively looking at that statement, do you think that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
And there it is. A lot of people do moronic things because they don't think about it first. They'll say something really dumb because if you're somewhat familiar with anything at all around the situation, you would know, like, your statement's a little suspect. You want to show me the tweets? Read them to me. Oh, so what do you think about those tweets? Oh, it's not transphobic? But you just said, right? It's like they're just like, the group said something, and it's just groupthink. It's pure groupthink, and we gotta, as a species, get the hell away from that, man. That is, well, look around you, right? Look around. Look at how much violence and craziness groupthink produces.
It's okay though, but this is why we do this, to learn how to think.
There's been like so in my class specifically, in our class, there's been quite a few people in there who have been saying like, oh, she's transphobic. I've never, like, until today, I haven't really thought about it because
And there it is, right? Your friend Bob said she's transphobic. You like Bob. you're kind of lazy intellectually a little bit, right? I mean, I can't say I don't want to be like rude either, because the kid is clearly like he's a good kid, right? He said something. The teacher, as he should, went in and expanded what he said, right? And we went and looked at the situation, and the guy came to the right conclusion, right? But because he was kind of intellectually lazy at the beginning, he didn't even bother to look at the situation. He's like, oh, Bob said she was transphobic, so therefore she must be transphobic, right? It's a massive danger to our society as a whole to think like that, to to let that slide. As a society, I believe, like, we need to, like, I don't know, we need to teach our kids better, right? To think critically.
I just believe, like, oh, there's 5 people saying it. It must be correct.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That was great.
See, the kid is like, boom, he got there, right? Thanks to a good teacher teaching him what he needed to know. Okay? He taught him how to think, not what to think, which is super important. Because these days, 99% of teachers are teaching you what to think, not how to think. And this, sadly, right, this was 3 months ago, I want to point out, the teacher is 100% correct and sensible, so expect him to lose his job anytime now. Here's a video from a couple of days ago.
So it happened yesterday.
He got fucking fired. A teacher that teaches his students to think critically is not something that certain political persuasions want. Because when you think, well, hell, it's actually the extremes on both sides, but on the left these days it seems a little bit more crazy than on the right. Let's be honest. Okay. Let's not go. I don't want to. Let's not further go into that, because then this is gonna start into a massive political rant. But yeah, there's one group of people these days, seemingly, that want you to believe a bunch of propaganda and do not want you to think about anything at all, ever. Because the moment you do, everything falls apart, that they say. All right. And this happens on the right just as well. I don't want to say just as much, because I think it happens on the left far more, but it definitely happens on the right as well. Like, both sides, extremes, definitely do not want you to think about what they're saying, right? Like, it's because when you think about it, everything falls apart. Like, oh, J.K. Rowling's transphobic? Why? What did she say? And then you hear the tweet and you're like, huh? That's transphobic? Jesus. I must be a transphobe then, because I think that too. Like, live the fuck however you want and let me live the fuck however I want. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. We can disagree in a civil society. But the left doesn't want a civil society. The left wants fucking dictatorship. They want a dictatorship. And the far right wants the same thing, right? They want you to shut the fuck up, don't think about it, and here's what you need to think. That's what they want to do. So, yeah, they fired him.
Yeah, I was fired from my full-time teaching position. Not going to... It happened so quick. It happened in like 5 minutes. There was really no conversation, so they clearly knew what they wanted to do. So it's not so like I don't think and I really genuinely, I'm not, because there's so little clarity on all of this, I'm really trying not to, I'm not interested in divulging anything. There's no utility in that. I never have. I never will. I think I have a right to articulate that
I really hope this blows up, by the way. Not my video, but like his story. Because this is disgusting in so many ways. Again, think critically, right? I'm not sure. We're not 100% sure that this is because of the video clip, etc. But I'm fairly certain it's gonna have something to do with it. I'm leaning more towards it's definitely, not definitely. I'm leaning more towards it's gonna have something to do with it than I'm not. All right, so hence the video, obviously. But don't take my word for it. Take your again. Think critically, guys. All right. Maybe the guy did something really, really bad, and that's the reason for his firing. But yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, this definitely needs to happen. So far, he's got 400,000 views. So let me post this in the chat real quick. Let's add some views to that, because I really think this is utterly reprehensible. What's
Just
happening
lost my
here?
job, and my basic observations, my life experience. There's no NDA. So when you say we appreciate you not divulging, I don't know if that means that you're threatening my severance package. I really hope not. I don't even know what the severance package is. I'm still waiting, but anyways, it was a bummer to lose my computer like that too. This could have been done. I understand if you disagree with me voicing opinions on YouTube, or feeling like it's easier just to get rid of that. I understand. To get rid of a teacher like that. And I accept that.
You shouldn't,
Sometimes
though.
how you do it, though, is important. And I think this could...
You really shouldn't accept it. Because if this happens the way I think it probably did, right? Then some people saw the video, some politically persuaded people saw the video, got really... this is transphobic. I feel I'm hurting my fifis. Somebody, we must send emails. Oh, go! This guy must be fired because I'm an authoritarian pisshead. I guarantee you. I have no proof of this. All right, but let's be honest. You know exactly what happened. All right.
Could have been done without just taking my computer and losing a book that I've been writing for 2 years. Multiple things I've been writing for 2 years. All the data from 2 years. My digital life. Just... I have my crypto accounts open. I have my access to a plethora of my information at your fingertips. I really hope that you just do the right thing, because honestly, I just want to be... I hope I never...
Clearly, they won't do the right thing, though. Let's be honest. Like, they fired you over your opinions. No, not even that. They fired you over the fact that you taught other people how to critically think so you can have them form their own opinions. That is a big no-no, dude. Like, you cannot have that in Goebbels' fans. All right, so that's unacceptable. You taught them to think for themselves, and that is a massive sin in their eyes.
See you again, and I just want to live my life. I really am not interested in you guys. Good luck to you. I have devoted 4 years of my life to this school, and yesterday it was like being a character in a video game and just being deleted, and the rest of it's like you were never there. It was remarkable by people that love to pretend that you're your teammates, and
that's the worst part, right? They always like, dude, they always butter up to you, man, until they realize, yo, this guy actually thinks for himself and doesn't full 100% agree with me. We must destroy him. That's how authoritarianism works.
This is just my perspective on things, but... And so the reason was... the reason I was... We don't trust you to not divulge information online or upload online. Well, I've never divulged anything. I've Dave Rubin, Dr. Drew, hours of podcasts, and not once did I ever cross any of the parameters that you laid out, that your lawyers laid out, and I even praised you for and thanked you for making that so clear, objectively recognizing what the rules were. There was no rules broken. You even said congratulations. The only time I've seen you in person this past year was maybe a week after that. Oh my goodness, it's our celebrity. What's on the docket? Any upcoming events? Interviews? That was a quote, and you know it.
That's a rough one for the other guy. See, he buckled under pressure, man. 100%. Like, you know, some screeching creepers were in his emails, bro. Were in his DMs. Maybe even threatening, because let's be honest, some of these people are very violent.
Yesterday it was like a different person. So, and I understand that had Elon Musk not tweeted that video, this would have happened probably with the last 4 months ago when this initially happened. So all the interpretation that I thought was objective seems to be malleable and subjective. And it seems to just be a matter of how something is received, depending which way the wind's blowing. If it blows one way, then it's bad. If it blows this way and it's in your favor, or there's eyeballs, if there's enough attention on it, then you'll just wait until that blows over. And I kind of, logically, I expect that that'll be honest, but you're never quite prepared for it when you devote 4 years to something and the floor is pulled out and there's that sense of falling. Thank you all for your support. I don't regret trying. It can be challenging when you have a job that you love and all the dynamics that come with that, and a clique of people that aren't happy with you going way back, and then things.
Dude, I can relate to this so much, dude. I think most people can if you've ever had a couple of jobs, right? Like, I had a pretty good job. My last job was pretty chill until it wasn't, right? Until you realize, like, oh, these people they're not your friends, alright? Your coworkers are almost never your friends. In 99.9% of cases, they're just your coworkers, and they'll stab you in the back at a moment's notice, dude. Some dude recorded me without my knowledge, which is fucking illegal in Belgium, okay? You cannot do that. And then took that recording to the boss, and I didn't even say anything special, right? Because the next day the boss called me and was like, "Oh, did you say X to Y?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I did," right? Like, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care. Like, I'll if I say something, I generally mean it, alright? Like, or I'll stand by it, or if not like that. How do I say this? Like, if I say something and then people ask me, "Did you say that?" I will be yeah, I said that, right? Like, why would I lie about that, right? Yeah, I said that. I would lie to someone crazy, right? I know. It wasn't even anything bad, right? Like, I got nothing for it. But then afterwards, I found out that one of my R-word YouTube R-word guys, co-workers, was recording me secretly. Like, whoa, why? What? Honestly, I should have gone to the police, but I didn't because I'm way too chill. And the guys are R-word, right? I'm like, okay, whatever, right? But to be honest, I'm kind of sad that I didn't, just to fuck with him, you know, like, just to scare him a little, because you don't do that shit, dude. That is like asocial as fuck. So I do understand that, like, you're at like a job and you think you think the place is like one way, and then you find out, oh, it's not that way at all, right? Alright, sorry, interjection, my bad.
It's complicated and snowball, and then they rise in power, and it's just, you're trying to navigate all that, and at the same time something comes along, and you know that if you don't try and make the most of it and just do your best with both, that you'll regret it. So you try and walk that line and juggle both. And it's hard when you do it alone and you don't have, I can't think of a single time in the last 4 months that a single colleague, leadership, any of the principals, any of these people have ever, how's the YouTube channel going? How are you doing? Is there any clarity we can offer? You just reference another 5-minute meeting 4 months ago. And a 1-sentence email from 4 months ago when I was in the middle of this storm trying to navigate all this. it can be challenging navigating all this on your own. And best damn believe I've been doing my best. So any perceived wrong that you may have, it was not intentional. I have done my best. And
It's the thing,
it's a
right?
shame that
They didn't want to help. They were just waiting. They were just waiting. When can we stab him in the back? Like when can we go Caesar on this guy, right? Because we don't like that he's bringing too much attention. Blah 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 blah. You know, these types of things. We live in a fucked up world. It's vile out there. It really is. We gotta arm kids, man, to think for themselves. Because the whole propaganda arc that we're going on is just really bad for us as a society as a whole, in my opinion. It's not gonna end well.
but this was coming for a while, and I know it. So we'll see where it goes from here. Thank you all. Thank you so much too. Thank goodness for Weakwill that it's just this in Weakwill now to try and make the most of those. So I'm going all in. Thank you for your support. Sorry, this has been just a bit ranty.
Like, unbelievable, bro. Holy shit. They've tried, they wanted to buy his silence with an NDA. Good for you, bro. Good for you. Get this guy's story out. Like, this is why I'm talking about it. This is just the most disgusting. Oh, this guy did everything right. He was clearly a good teacher because he was like, wait a minute. Why? Show me proof. What do you think about it yourself? He didn't tell the kid what to think. He didn't tell the kids. He just taught the kid to think for himself. And what the hell would you want more from a teacher? And you fire him over it. I hope this guy gets a new job. I hope he gets a lot of attention on this, because this is just absolutely revolting. It's why I needed to make a video on it. I saw like a minute or two of like the I got fired thing, and I knew I had to talk about this because I would have killed for teachers like this. All right, I did really badly in school, okay? And I'm really not a dumb guy, right? I'm going to school right now again for IT, and I'm flying through it, okay? 90%. If I'm interested, if I'm engaged, I'm a sponge, and I think most people are. But when you go to school, it's uninteresting, it's unengaging, and 99.9% of the teachers there are drones. And make it even worse. And that impacted me as a kid very greatly. And now I have like a better understanding of it. Now I'm older, I think for myself, etc. And that impacts me way less now, right? Because I'm in school now, and I'm super loving it, right? I'm like, I hated going to school back in the day because we didn't have good teachers, and now I have decent teachers. Because again, when you go to adult school, it's much more chill. People treat you like a human being for starters, right? Because you're a fully grown human being, right? You're not some, to a degree I get it, but I do feel like the way our current schooling system is set up is exactly like this, right? You have a good teacher and he just gets pushed out. It's very troubling, guys. That's a bit of a downer to drop it off on, considering I usually deal with like haha drama. But I felt this one was important to talk about because it's honestly outrageous. Excuse me. It's honestly outrageous what happened, and I wanted to spread awareness about it. So yeah, there we go. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you want. If not, that's fine. I'll see you guys later. Love you. Peace out.